Ladies and gentlemen, a special edition of Cruising with the guy that is sitting in his backyard right now called the case handler. Adam Handler, the top attorney in the nation, in my opinion, when it comes to personal injury. Great friend of mine for the past 15 years. He has not let me down in any capacity whatsoever, whether that's being an attorney for me or, of course, helping out people who have settled for he has settled for well over $120 million. So that's the reason why no one in the entire New York state, New Jersey state should go to any other attorney, personal injury attorney, when they need help. You get hurt in an accident, you go to that guy. We call him the shark internally, but externally, everybody knows him as the case handler. And I want for everybody to have his number, 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. But the guy's such a good guy that he came to me and he's like, Squeeze, seriously, you bring back your law show because you're the man who was putting all of this together. What's up? You need to, stop visiting Jamaica so much. You need to come back here and take care of the people. They need you. So guess what? You dragged me out of retirement. Then I hooked up with Conrad Pollock and Nelson Madrid, who I did hook up 6 years ago with. And here we are. And the show has been going great. We're getting tons of consultation. Is there any drawback? There is one drawback, people that's watching us on Facebook. You need to retain them. All right. You got any issues, retaining them as far as, setting up payment plans? Give me a call and I'll nudge the Conrads. I'll nudge the Nelsons. I'll nudge the General, the Alan Kays and the case handler. I'm like, come on, man. Hook up a brother, hook up a sister, hook up a person, hook up a people. And I promise you they will, because the mere fact that they decided in a COVID era to give free consultations, phone consultation, is unbelievable. And it says a lot about their character. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I am proud, David Squeeze Anarchy, to bring you Cruising with a Case Handler, where we talk on personal injury and, of course, immigration. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Adam, welcome to your show. And it's good to have you here, man. You're all good?
I'm great.
Is your internet,
and
your phone internet?
Pushing us to do the show. Can you hear me? Can't hear me?
Are you using your phone?
Yes.
Internet?
No.
Yeah. Okay, you're better now.
No. Yeah. Okay. I've always been good. Better. And
where'd he go?
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, it's obviously on Adam's side. Dude, stop using the phone internet, man. The internet in your property.
I'm not. I'm using the computer. Can you hear me?
You're much better now.
Boy. I'm better now?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Everything's good?
Yes, you're good. You're good now.
All right. Well, listen, it's the first time we've been doing the afternoon show. Maybe the Wi-Fi is just as tired as we are. I'm thrilled to do it. I'm thrilled to be a part of it. A lot of people don't maybe watching them.
Sorry, guys. Let me just remove my staff here. Gentlemen. I apologize, and they think that I'm still working normally. All right. Yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Adam.
All right, let's start this again. Hey, my name is Adam Handler. I'm the case handler. I am the personal injury partner of Pollock, Isaac DeSico, and this is the first afternoon show of Cruising with the Case Handler. We normally do it every day on 93.5, streaming live to Facebook at 8:30 in the morning. And from the numbers that I'm seeing right now on Facebook, the numbers are strong, which means a lot of you are still sleeping maybe when we're doing our show every single day at 8:30. Maybe some of us are actually still sleeping when we're doing our show in the morning.
Nobody listens to me, man. I told you guys that I'm going to drag you guys here in the evening at least once.
This is amazing. I mean, the views right now are through the
out
roof,
of this
and
world.
That's exciting because, our Thursday shows are usually some of our best shows. And you know why? Because we always have a very special guest with us on Thursday. And who's that? That's the General. And who's the General?
When it comes to immigration.
And who's the general? The general is probably the most experienced and probably the most respected immigration attorney in New York, if not the nation. And he's given up his time every morning on Thursday and in the afternoon today to answer our questions. And he is the authority. And we're so lucky to have him on, and so lucky to be able to get the message across in this afternoon about what we do. Nelson's drinking his Pellegrino. I'm drinking my Riesling. And it's happy hour here at PPID. Conrad's got some bourbon in that coffee mug, just like my gym teacher had. And we're ready to go. So without further ado, if I could, I will do the pleasure of introducing the panel today, or the panel this afternoon. Of course, we've got Conrad, the Maestro Pollock, the managing partner of the firm, the partner in charge of the immigration department, and of course, Nelson, his partner as well, my partner as well, who heads up the immigration department as well, and handles a lot of the deportation cases. And of course, Alan Kaye of counsel to our firm, just a spectacular addition. I think Alan and I joined PPID around the same time. Is that right, Alan? I got in there in January of 2015. When did you join the firm?
I think maybe a little bit before that, but it's close.
Yeah. So we've been doing some amazing things. Obviously, we both had our own practices beforehand. And Conrad, in his infinite wisdom, like he always says, seeks out a great talent. His son's actually an amazing baseball player, and they're familiar with the scouting process. And maybe Conrad himself is a great scout of legal talent. And that's why our firm is strong, and that's why our firm's going to be around for decades to come. Yep. And we're exactly.
I do like.
So here's what, guys. Here's what. I do
like to. I do agree with that.
One second, Conrad. Come on, you're the managing partner, man, and I think you're a wonderful, good-looking white guy. Okay, as a black
very
man,
white today, right?
All right, yeah. But right now, you got too much light on you, man. You're like super white right now.
I know. I'm like,
All right.
It's a halo.
I'm outside. No, I'm outside. The sun's right in my face here.
That's man. Okay. All right. Anyway, but listen, ladies and gentlemen, on a serious note, this is a great show. It's a phenomenal show. It's a show on personal injury and immigration. But I refuse to have these gentlemen continue the show until everyone that's watching the show do a favor for the General Alan Kaye, the Maestro Conrad Pollock, the Maverick Nelson Madrid, the case handler, aka the Shark. He's got two names, okay? And myself, by actually sharing the page. I don't want to start the show until we get above 30 concurrent, and then we're going to shoot for 100. So everyone that's watching right now, do me a favor. Share the page on your timeline, okay? Share the page in the group that you're a part of. Share the page on pages. I want you to share the page. We're going to answer any and all immigration questions. We're going to talk about true success stories with, of course, personal injury. Very important that you share the page right now and tell everybody, hey, got a bunch of attorneys and the Businessman Squeeze on Facebook right now, and they're talking about immigration and personal injury. And of course, they're a proven track record. They've got a proven track record. So please, if you love us, we love you. Do me a favor and share it. Got to say much respect to I Am Hollywood Hype. He's got hundreds of thousands of followers. Come on, man. I know who you are. You can make that link. All right. By the way, I spoke with Shaggy today. I tell you, I probably should call Shaggy right now. What do you think? Adam, and say, Shaggy, get on this, man. I need for you to help me boost this, man. But
that would be incredible. But I don't know who's more respected and well recognized, Shaggy or the General. I'm not so sure these days.
In this capacity, no disrespect to one of my better friends, Shaggy, but the General is the General. All right, so he's the man. Nelson idolizes this man, and of course, rightfully so. So. Let's jump right into it, gentlemen. We're here and the show, Cruising with a Case Handler. Let's talk personal injury. Let's talk immigration. All right. And gentlemen, General, we've got mad respect for you. So we've got to make you start the show. Tell us what's going on. We're going to go on current events. We've got, Conrad's friend, that guy in that house over there on that avenue. We'll talk about
it. Surrounded by that big 8-foot fence, that one.
But the General, you are the man with the links, as we say in the Caribbean community. Wagwan, talk to me.
Okay, let me give you a couple of developments. The Supreme Court should be coming out with a decision this week, next week on DACA. And so if you're a DACA person and they strike down DACA, it's not going to be good for you because there may be 800,000 people who won't be able to renew their DACA visas. I mean, there's a kind of a interesting point because if the Supreme Court says the administration couldn't do DACA, the Obama administration couldn't do it, it's going to rebound on the Trump administration saying they can't do it either. So anyway, watch for the Supreme Court decision on DACA. Secondly, the administration just published a new decision, a new proposal on asylum. And I know that Nelson is very concerned about that, as we all are. And Nelson will talk about that, but these are very bad regulations which would restrict people from filing for asylum. In addition, Trump should be coming out in another week or two with a new proclamation which will restrict people coming into the United States on non-immigrant temporary visas, H's, L's, J's, very bad provision. And that's going to be coming also. So we've got some bad stuff coming. Of course, if the DACA decision, if the Supreme Court holds and lets DACA remain, that's great, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. The asylum proposed regulation is very bad, and Nelson will tell you about that. And this new proclamation that Trump is going to come out with in a week or two is not good either. So there's some not good news coming around the horizon. Nelson, maybe you want to talk a little bit about why these new asylum regulations are so bad.
I saw that in the news today. Talk to me.
Well, not just the asylum, actually. Before we get into asylum, let's talk about the recent decision issued in the Southern District of New York, where a judge basically ruled. It was a long decision. The decision basically talks about how prior to the current administration, there was priorities in place, and basically arresting people in court was not as commonplace as it is today. The prior administration had basically set levels, first level, second level, third level, or priorities, I should say. So the only people who could be arrested at courthouses were technically what was considered a first priority. When the new administration came into office, everyone became a priority. As a result of everyone becoming a priority, the numbers jumped of people getting arrested at court, at different courthouses. A federal judge basically just said that, found that to be arbitrary and capricious, and basically said that anyone, give me 1 second, I have the decision here. Enjoin ICE policy of courthouse arrests as now embodied in the directive to be illegal, and hereby enjoins ICE from conducting any civil arrests on premises or grounds of New York State courthouses, as well as such arrests of anyone required to travel to a New York State courthouse as a party or a witness to a lawsuit. Basically, the judge found it was extremely disruptive. It was preventing people from appearing in court. And again, there was no sound reason on why the numbers jumped the way they jumped. Okay. And that's that in a nutshell.
So just so I'm clear, what that's saying that if you are an out-of-status immigrant or in deportation, ICE cannot approach you in a courthouse? Is that what it's saying?
Well,
That's
what
basically correct. Or outside the courthouse.
Right. Basically,
So-
ICE has no business in courthouses.
So if you have a personal injury case or
That's right.
Yeah, well, Conrad, you let us know. What were you thinking?
Well, basically, I mean, what Nelson was getting at, the previous administration, the Obama administration recognized that the government and every government agency has limited resources. So, the idea when you have limited resources is to use them to target specific areas. If you have a limited amount of manpower or limited budget, limited money, then you want to go after the problems, the issues that cause the most problems. So in other words, what Nelson was talking about with priorities, that they created different levels of people who should be removed and who should be left alone. So the top priority people, the priority one people, were drug dealers and killers and murderers and all those Mexican rapists that our president is always railing about. Those are priority number one. On the other hand, priority 4 or priority 5 were housekeepers or nannies or dishwashers in the local restaurant. Obama, in his wisdom, created priorities so they'd go after the bad guys and they'd leave the good guys alone. We have limited resources. We can't go after everybody. Let's get the bad guys. However, 3.5 years ago, along comes Mr. Trump, and he's got a better idea. You know what? Let's get them all. There are no priorities. Let's just get them all. Housekeepers, nannies, let's just put them out in a big wide net and just whatever comes in, send them all home. This judge, luckily, some good news for a change, this judge basically said, can't do that, especially when they're coming, or you can't do that if they're coming to court, because what does that do? It scares people away. You have to go to court, you're called as a witness, or you're called as a defendant, or you're called as a plaintiff in a personal injury case, and you have ICE standing at the door waiting to arrest illegal immigrants. That's kind of going to discourage people from coming to court. Cool. Yeah, I could see it having a slightly discouraging effect, So this judge basically came down and said, that's a really bad idea. Mr. President, that is not cool. ICE, that is not cool. And he put an end to it. So there you are. So if you've got a personal injury case now, and you happen not to have your green card, or maybe your visa expired or some such issue, you don't have to worry about going to court in New York. You don't have to worry about being a witness in New York. You can appear and ICE can't touch you.
Beautiful.
How's that? Did I sum it up well?
That sounds good to me. And also, I'm sure that applies to the family courts as well. I used to do a considerable amount of matrimonial and family law work. And I remember a lot of times our out of status immigration clients would say that they were afraid to go to family court for an order of protection, or afraid to go to family court to ask for visitation of their children, or child support, because they were afraid that as soon as, they were asked for ID and couldn't show it, that ICE would come, busting through the metal detectors and scoop them away. And it deterred a lot of people from exercising rights that would have otherwise been available to them. So a very good decision. And, that's what we're bringing here. I mean, ppid, every day we're bringing the information that you guys need to make sure that you're well informed. What you do with the information, is your business. We can only hope that you listen to us and give us a call, because not only is the information we're giving you right now free. I mean, again, we always ask you to comment or share the page, tip your waiter, and kind of spread the love with respect to our firm. But if you have any other questions regarding immigration, personal injury, matrimonial, criminal, real estate, the phone call is free. The consultation is free. 844-774-3529 or 844-PPID law. We've been giving back to the community that's given to us for so many years, and being able to provide a quality legal information by way of Conrad and Nelson, myself, and of course on Thursdays, Alan, and then spread out through the week, different members of our firm and different people that are associated with our firm. We really do have a complete legal show on this broadcast and on 93.5, and of course a complete legal team if you ever need our help.
Absolutely. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, that's the case handler, Adam Handler, the top personal injury attorney, in my opinion, in, of course, the tri-state area. If and when you do get hurt, you need a solid personal injury attorney. You need a case handler. Once again, he noted the number, 844-774-3529, 844-774-3529. I want to say thanks to each and everyone who has been sharing the page. Okay, we do appreciate it. We see so far 22 shares. Okay, and I love that. And the fact that people are sharing the page says a lot. Okay, we are getting more shares now than we would normally do get in the morning. But ladies and gentlemen, you are helping, your friends and your family and even your foes out there. Okay, wonderful job. Keep sharing the page for us. We do appreciate it. And when you share the page, just put up "I shared." All right, let's cut to the chase, gentlemen. Are you guys ready for immigration questions? But I do believe that at least Adam should at least share a true success story with us. We like to hear those war stories. And you're going to tell me, well, make me a host, man. I'm not late today. Make me a host, So I've just made you a co-host, my brother,
All right. All right. Well, let's do a couple immigration questions and I'll set something up real nice for you. How's that sound?
That sounds wonderful. A show on personal injury and immigration. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go to the videotape. What show was that? Oh,
that was
Sports Center.
Sports Machine.
Warner. Yeah, no,
Warner
that's
Wolf.
what's his name? Warner Wolf.
Warner
Let's go
Wolf.
to the videotape. Right, Warner Wolf.
Wasn't that Sports Machine?
No, that was George Michael's Sports Machine. Different guy.
Okay.
George
right.
Michael.
Yeah.
He was in Wham. Also, he was a singer too.
He wasn't.
Did both.
In between, we're gonna have some current affairs talk also. So, and by the way, folks, feel free to put anything that you want to talk about on the show. I mean, these guys, they've got a personality, they've got character. I really, really love working with them. All right, so here's one. Immigration it is, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get ready. Remember, hire them after you get your free phone consultation. My brother petitioned for me with an I-130 application, and it was approved. I am now sending in an I-485. Back in 1980, when I was only 21 years old, I applied for an amnesty program. I was given a work permit. In 2006, however, I was denied an extension of the work permit because my lawyer lost the amnesty case in court. Is this going to affect my I-485 application?
Sure is. I'm curious as to how this gentleman is able to file his 485. Of course, in order to file his 485, first off, it sounds like, did he say it's his brother or sibling who filed for him?
No. It says my brother.
Yeah.
My brother.
So it's a family-based fourth preference case. That's the immigration category in which it's classified. So it's a fourth preference case. He has to be in legal status the entire time that he's been here. It sounds like he's been here, I don't know, 40 years, 50 years, something like that.
There's a bigger issue, Conrad.
But wait,
If
before you get to the fraud, hang on. But he has to be in lawful status. Amnesty doesn't confer any kind of benefit. And even if it did, it expired. Apparently, he was denied in 2006. He's not in lawful status. I don't know how he's filing for adjustment of status. And if he doesn't qualify for another exception under the law, 245I, if he doesn't qualify, he's going to file that 45. He's going to get denied. And guess what? They're going to be waiting for him, possibly with handcuffs, to take him away and put him into removal proceedings.
He'll be seeing Nelson.
Conrad, I'm actually.
Go ahead.
He said that the immigration judge denied his amnesty.
You don't know if it was a judge or but not Nelson. Typically, those old amnesty cases. Now I'm going back to my day. All right. I mean, granted, Alan, I know you were practicing in the 50s, but I'm talking the 80s now. Right. But these amnesty cases were all done administratively. Most likely, he did LULAC and all these other things that they did because that's when I broke in. I remember that stuff very well. It was all done administratively. He was denied administratively. The appeal that he filed probably 3 or 4 times finally got denied, and they put an end to it. Whether it was the lawyer's fault or not is another issue.
Also,
right? I doubt very much he was in immigration proceedings. Though.
Also, he's got 2 grounds of inadmissibility: not only the possible fraud, but unlawful presence.
I don't know how he's adjusting status. I'm hoping that he's got some lawyer who's advising him properly, because he's going to cause himself some major trouble. The guy's been here for 40-something years, sounds like, and that's not going to save him if it turns out that I'm right.
The best thing is for him to come and see us and let us look at the.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And
give him that number.
Yeah, I'm about to give out that number. Once again, folks, this is a show on personal injury and, yes, immigration. You just heard from the immigration attorneys. And they're chopping at the bit, as they would say. You heard the Conrads, you heard the Nelson, and you heard the Allen, just simmer it out, like simmer down, just call the firm at 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. And I see that our numbers are going up. What do you think of that, Adam Handler? What do you think of that, my friend, who is a shark when he goes after the money for his clients? What do you think of the numbers going up?
As I say to my kids and sometimes to my wife, Daddy likey. It's great, man. It's just great getting the message across, and it really does mean so much to me that everybody is so supportive, enthusiastic, and interested in what we have to say. And we try not to waste people's time. We try to give quality information. We certainly wouldn't expect that you would waste our time. And we're here to help. I mean, that's the message, man. I mean, I'm thrilled that we're doing it in the afternoon, and we'll do it more. Maybe we'll do shorter mornings, and in those days we'll do a little bit in the afternoon too, because I mean, I guess we could really talk forever, but we never want to run out of topics. I don't know if that's what happened with this group of characters, but it's great. I'm thrilled.
I just think that, with everything that's going on in our world, we're all doing different things at different times. And I'm very happy that you gentlemen were very open to actually getting on the show in the evening, because you're taking time away from your family and yourself to actually help people. And that sends a clear message that you are truly about helping people and you're truly treating people like family, because it's dinner time. And look where you are. Look where the general is. Look where Conrad is. Look where Nelson is. Okay? Look where you are. Look where I am. And we all got the same shirts on, So, Adam, I'll let you give a true success story.
And then we'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it up. This is a great story. We've talked about this before, but a lot of people may not have been listening or paying attention, but I don't even care because I like saying it. This is a great case. Michael was a personal injury client of ours that came to us. It was a Bronx accident. He was rear-ended, and this was a large settlement. This is end of 2019. Now, normal circumstances. We settle a case, and client comes in, picks up their big check. Of course, this is all tax-free money, but they pick up the big check, and we ask them if they can do us the courtesy of taking a photograph, giving us a little feedback as to how we did. And of course, we post this on Testimonial Tuesday. Every Tuesday, we post a true life success story about something we've done for the firm. By the firm for a client. And this was $1.7 million. Now, why this was such a great win, and listen, it's a deep seven-figure win. That's exciting. But what was even more exciting is that about 3 weeks before this photograph was taken, we were at a settlement conference in which they offered $1 million. Right? They offered $1 million. And I remember calling Conrad saying, yeah, we got $1 million on the table. And I remember calling Stacy, my wife, saying, hey, I got $1 million on the table. I remember calling Matthew and a couple of people back at the office. Yeah, you got $1 million. And I never said we were going to take it. I just said we got $1 million. And the point of this story is that was not enough money. I knew we could get more if we went to trial. And you know what? The insurance company knew we could get more if we wound up going to trial. So even though they offered $1 million, we said thanks, but no thanks. And we walked out. And sometimes we walk out in a dramatic way, and they stop you at the elevator and say, no, come back in, let's talk again. But we walked out, and they didn't follow us. And I was committed at that point to going all the way and getting a verdict on this case, because I understood that Michael, and he had a back surgery, he made an excellent recovery, but he had a back surgery. He had one and only one shot at getting it right. And I understood that, and I knew that there was more money to be had. And you know what happened? About a week after that settlement conference, ring, ring, ring. Hey, case handler, this is Lancer Insurance. I know you wanted $1,750,000. We'll pay you $1.7 million. And I called the client, and he said, I don't want to risk $50,000. I'm not going to wait another 6 months for trial. Let's lock it down. And we settled it. But the important lesson of this story was that a lot of lawyers, would have taken that $1 million. The insurance company came with $1 million, and that was their top offer. It took a couple hours even to get to that. But I said to Michael, I said, listen, pump your brakes. I know that sounds like a lot of money, but I really believe we can do better. And he had faith in me, and he trusted in me, and he got another $700,000 2 weeks after that. So an awesome story, but a story worth sharing, because we understand, he had one chance to get it right, one chance for maximum compensation, and he had one choice of attorney. And he chose your boy, the case handler.
Yep.
And he chose my staff at Pollock, Isaac DeSico. One chance, one choice. He chose the case handler. $1.7 million. An incredible story. I love it.
Oh my God. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching a show called Cruising with the Case Handler. Powerful. And when I say powerful attorneys, you've seen all the movies with attorneys who are powerful and everything. This is the real deal. This is not a movie. If you've got a personal injury situation, meaning that you get hurt in an accident, don't follow those billboards. Don't follow what you're seeing on TV at 2 o'clock in the morning. No, at 2:17 in the morning. What you need to follow is what you have heard here, the true success stories that you have heard Adam Handler speak about. The fact that he has those true success stories on a website called thecasehandler.com. It's right there in your face. And also, I'm not being biased and I'm not being prejudiced. Also, he advocates for the immigrant community because he knows what we're going through. And also, guess what? If you're an immigrant and you're out of status, ladies and gentlemen, and you get hurt in an accident, he is the man you want because he's with a firm, PPID, as a partner where they know how to handle such situations and you won't have issues in that department. So that's the reason why we say personal injury, immigration, we say the cruising with a case handler. The number to call for a free consultation on personal injury or immigration right this second. As a matter of fact, prove me wrong or right. Dial this number, 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529, 844-774-3529. I got two more questions, and then I'll let you all go have dinner, gentlemen. Let's get to this one right here. My case, this is immigration we're flipping to now from personal injury. My case category is F4. I received my DQ letter on the 13th of March, 2020. However, I am waiting for the interview date. Does anyone know how much time NVC takes for a scheduled date of interview?
Well, there's another question to think about. You know, if this person is not legally here and he goes to the consulate for an interview, he may never come back. So before,
at least for 10 years, right, Alan?
yeah, before you jump on a plane and go there, you need a lawyer to look at your case and see whether it's dangerous for you to go to the consulate and get stuck for 10 years.
Just following up on what Alan was saying, I'm sorry to jump in. For F4, it was the same as the other gentleman who just asked the question. That's fourth preference, family-based category, sibling for sibling. If the person has been here illegally for whatever period of time, it sounds like he's been here a long time. Most fourth preference cases have been here years, many years, decades sometimes. If he leaves the country, he can't come back to the U.S. for 10 years. There's a waiver that he can apply for if he's eligible prior to leaving the country. But in order to be eligible for that waiver, he has to either have a U.S. citizen or a lawful resident spouse with a green card, or have a parent, mother, father, who is a citizen or a green card. If he does not have one of those two relationships, and all he's got is a sibling relationship, he's going to leave the country, yeah, and he's not coming back for a solid 10 years, as Alan was saying.
There you go. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, cruising with a case handler. The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Final question, and then I want to thank the people who have been sharing.
Now, Squeeze, if I just jump in, that type of question, that type of situation, we see it all the time. Again, I've been doing this since the 80s. All right, I'm in my 37th year where I lose track. And I see situations like that all the time. This is a guy or a woman, I don't know, but it sounds like he doesn't have a lawyer. He probably had his next door neighbor fill out the I-130 for him, fill out the forms. I don't need a lawyer. This is nothing. And plus, when he did that application, a fourth preference case, it takes 15 years. So he did the case. Clinton was president probably when he filed that petition. All right, the petition was probably 3 pages long back then. Now it's 30 pages long, 20 pages, whatever. But the guy probably did it himself with his neighbor, with some friend, with somebody. I know somebody who can handle this stuff. No problem. Give me $50. I'll take care of it. All right. Of course, they don't know the law. They don't know all the requirements. They don't know what's facing them when they go to the consulate if he leaves the country. And like I said, he wouldn't even know unless somebody told him, like I just did, that he needs a waiver. He's got his brother filing for him. He filed a petition. It's been approved. National Visa Center has it. He paid his fees at NVC. He's ready to roll. They're going to give him a visa interview. He's all set. Nobody's going to tell him that he needs a waiver unless he asks, of course,
right?
Or he says, "Hey, wait a minute, this seems a little too easy for me. Why isn't everybody else doing this?"
Sounds like a case that Nelson had the other day when he said
we see it all.
Yeah. It's not just a waiver, right? Because you need a qualifying relative for a waiver, right? For an unlawful presence waiver, the only qualifying relatives are parent or spouse who is either a permanent resident or a citizen. Your brother doesn't help you. Your children do not help you.
That's right.
So when we say waiver, it's not so simple. It's not just any.
That person could have 10 kids here. He could have 10 U.S. citizen kids from 40 to 50 years of age, whatever. that will not help him get his green card. He will leave the country based on that application because he doesn't know any better, and he will not come back here.
All right, let's conclude. All right. Linda Shaw is one of our biggest advocates on this show. She has never missed a show on Facebook.
Thank you, Linda.
You know, she has never missed a Facebook show. All right. And she's always promoting us. And I want to say thanks to her. She got a quick question. She says, here, the NBC sent me an email stating that they are waiting on an appointment from the embassy to send for me from February. How much more do I have to wait on my mom's petition for me?
Again, it's the same thing. We've got to be very careful that this person doesn't go to the NBC and then be barred for 10 years from coming back. So we've got to see whether she needs a waiver and whether she can get a waiver. So it's just the same thing that Conrad just said. You don't just get on a plane and go because you may be stuck for 10 years.
Although in this case, it sounds like her mother applied for her. If that's the case, her mother is a green card or U.S. citizen. Therefore, she is eligible for a waiver. The question
but a
is,
waiver,
does she know that, and did she apply?
A waiver also, it's not just filing a waiver. She could be back home for another 8 months or a year until that, assuming that waiver is favorably adjudicated. So, you know, it's not as simple as jumping on a plane and I'll be back in 2 weeks. She may get stuck abroad for a while.
If she needs a waiver, you want to start working on it now while she's still here, not go home and the consul says you need a waiver and she waits for a year while the waiver is processed.
And in answering her actual question, it's hard to say how long it's going to take to get that interview because she's subject to a priority date. It's either a first preference case or it's a third preference case, whether she's married or not. And those cases take 8, 10, 12 years, depending on what the circumstances are. Her priority date will eventually determine when her interview will be. So it's hard to say how long the NVC is going to take. If her priority date is current and she sent in all the fees and sent everything in February, she should be scheduled this year. If her priority date isn't current, if her filing date is not ready, she will wait another year, 2 years. Hard to say.
Gotcha. All right, final one. Hi, just got an RFE for I-130, responded immediately. How long does it typically take to hear back from the USCIS? That's another one from our Facebook page here.
There's no specific timeline. When you respond to a request for evidence, it could take a month, it could take 6 months, it could take a year. They could issue another request for evidence. They could issue a notice of intent to deny. They could deny. There's no black and white answer to that question, unfortunately. It's not.
You know, immigration could issue an RFE asking for new photographs, you know, and nothing else, or new medical, or they could ask for a blood test to prove that there's a real relationship there, or they could ask if it's a marriage case, prove that it's a valid marriage. Yeah, every RFE is different. There is no set time frame, and it could be a month, like Nelson said, or it could be a year.
Gotcha. All right, gentlemen, before we go, I want to speak with Adam quickly. Adam, you don't talk enough about this, but there's what's called a statute of limitations on cases and accidents. And you the other day said that no, people are once they get hurt, they're now calling. I believe that a lot of people, do not do anything initially. So I need for you to just expand on that a little bit, and also on the part where if you're an immigrant and you get hurt, because a lot of people are also saying, no, I don't want to sue my uncle. I don't want to sue my mother. I don't want to sue my father. Talking Jamaican here. Okay, I think only Nelson can understand. And Adam, you're up that alley right now. Okay, all right. You see, so if I don't want to sue my mother, I don't want to sue my father, I don't want to sue my uncle. I can't sue my friend. No, I can't do that to them. You need to expand a little bit as to why they need to do the right thing.
Well, listen, as I always say, and this happens a lot during workplace accidents. They say, oh, I don't want to ruffle feathers. I don't want to bring a case. My employer's been good to me. They said they're going to take care of my medical bills. They said they're going to pay me for my time out of work. I said, okay, yeah, call me back in 30 days. They usually do. Yeah, my employer fired me, or I can't get a call back from my employer. Now my bills are collections. Listen, it's a harsh thing to say, but you got to do you.
So what I don't understand. Sorry to interject. I've been wanting to ask you this, and maybe I'm wrong, but if I'm working for John Doe and I'm working on the World Trade Center or the Freedom Towers, right? And I get hurt on that building, right? Mm-hmm. I have a construction case, right?
You do?
I do. But why?
As long as construction work is being performed,
Right,
construction,
but
renovation,
why is it-
demolition.
But why is it not like workers' comp for any other entity?
Well, it is because you're going to get workers' comp from your job, but then under New York law, you're entitled to sue the owner of the property and the general contractor. As long as the general contractor is not your employer. Sometimes the GC is your employer, but the owner of the property will always be liable. So in these accidents, I always say, by the way, you're not going after your job, right? You're filing an insurance claim for workers' compensation, but that's not going after your job. The only entity that will ever be named in a lawsuit in a construction accident will be the owner of the property and the GC on the job. So listen, there are so many,
I've always wondered about that.
Yeah, there's so many intricacies about personal injury law and who to sue and who not to sue and who you can sue and who you can't sue. But everybody out there, maybe we don't show that behoove sign enough, but it would behoove you to give us a ring. The consultation's free. Actually, retaining our services for personal injury is free. We've been offering free consultations for immigration, but if we can help you and you want us to help you, obviously we're going to charge you a reasonable fee to perform the work. But for personal injury, it's all in contingency fee, meaning I get paid if and only if I'm successful for you. So if the case doesn't work out somehow, you go your way, I go my way. Hopefully we remain friends, but there's really no risk to you, no reason whatsoever why you and your family shouldn't have who you believe to be the best possible attorney fighting for that one and only shot of financial justice. So 844-774-3529, 844-774-3529. And to answer your question, the statute of limitations is the time period that the state allots to individuals to file a lawsuit. Under general circumstances, it's 3 years. Medical malpractice cases in New York are 2.5 years. In New Jersey, it's 2 years. But these are all actually being extended. We can talk about that another day. The Governor Cuomo has extended the time in which you can file a lawsuit during COVID. So, for example, if you had a case and you can't get to a lawyer, you shouldn't be penalized. So they're actually extending the time out until early July, which will toll it. Let's say, for example, your statute of limitations ran in March. You'll now have a 4-month extension on that. So lots to talk about. We can certainly do it in the morning. I'm hungry. I know everybody else is. And you know what? I am so happy. I'm looking at these numbers right now. What a great response this evening to our show. Thank you, Squeeze, for pushing us.
Hold on. Why don't you read Denise's question, man? Because she said Squeeze is skipping over my question.
I didn't see that. I'm only viewing the case handler feed.
It says any word on this immigration ban, family base, F2A, be specific, please. Gentlemen.
I'm sorry.
I'm a personal injury lawyer, man. What do you want from me?
Okay. It says any word on this immigration ban, family base, F2A, to be specific.
Immigrant categories, preference categories, of which F2A is one. If the beneficiary is outside the United States, he's not coming to the United States. He's subject to the ban. So if the beneficiary that is in the United States, the ban doesn't apply. It only applies to those persons that are intending immigrants outside the United States currently. That could change, right? But it seems to me that the proclamation that was issued back in April and the new one that's coming in a week or so only will affect people that are not in the country yet, right? But this person, if he's out of the U.S., is subject to the ban, unfortunately.
This concludes our show right here on, of course, Cruising with a Case Handler, where Adam Handler is rushing us to get off so that he can go and eat. All right, rightfully so. Adam, you're hungry, man. I know that. Right?
I'm hungry for clients, man. Listen, we're here. We're open for business. We've been helping thousands and thousands of people since I joined the practice in 2015. And like I said, I'm well over $120 million in recoveries over the course of my career. I know the PPID team has been speaking to hundreds and hundreds of people since the pandemic hit, giving those free consultations. And we are truly blessed with the response and hope to keep it going. Again, there's an expression, whenever a lawyer says, trust me, you run the other way, but it's different with our firm. I'm saying, trust us. The information's free and put us to the test, because you're going to see we do things very, very differently than everybody else out there. And that's going to put an advantage in our favor.
Got you. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, prior results do not guarantee similar outcome. Every case is unique. Thank you so much for choosing, of course, PPID, the case handler. Yours truly, Squeeze. Make sure you tune in tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. weekdays, of course, And we'll be here again to answer more questions. The General Alan Kaye, thanks for being on. Nelson Madrid, thanks so much for being on. Mr. Baverick. Also, Conrad Pollock, the Maestro, thanks for being on. And obviously, my co-pilot, Mr. Adam Handler, you may go eat now.
Ah, thank you.
With that said, we have ended this show.